Hello and Allahu Akbar, the Baha'I greeting to all the people of the planet Earth. My name is Abbas Ali Tamori. Time is 9:52. Today is 18th, Sunday. I haven't been talking to you lately. Different business, different responsibilities. But there's a whole bunch of videos that I have to make. By grace of God, I'll take this task on hereafter. But I'd like to talk to you about something very new, something that I wasn't planning even to do. Every year in January I take time to go, for sake of my wife mostly, to go to vacation, which my vacation ends up being traveling, and it becomes adventure, and in most cases becomes an expedition, really, as it was. So on January 2nd, I decided to go to Israel. There you go to Jordan, from Jordan you go to Egypt, Egypt to Lebanon. And because I'm the elder of Baha'u'llah, he invests on what I wish to do. We're going for traveling, let's say adventure, let's say taking time out, but actually it ended up being a very important investigation on what's happening between Israel and surrounding Islamic countries. So it happens, by the way, that when we went there, it was the next day, Saturday, we did go to the shrine of the Bab and Baha'u'llah. And when we were coming back on 4th also, we entered to the shrine of Bab and Baha'u'llah again. Anyways, in Israel, I happened to talk in Nazareth, I think, the White Mosque, to the chief of the, as he says, the priest, the father, the chief of the Catholics in Jordan, and he invited us to his church, and we had a beautiful talk. What a brilliant individual he was. When I brought the verses of Quran, he immediately turned into his phone, trying to find out where is this verse. He admired it very much. Anyways, we go to Jordan, and from Jordan we go all the way, as you know, to Petra, Wadi Aram, and coming back. And then on 16, after about 8-9 days, we went to Egypt. And I took a car to drive from Cairo to Luxor. It was a big mistake, but we saw a whole lot of things. Amazing, the police in Egypt, that they would help us, escort us from city by city to make sure that we're not lost or nobody take advantage. So I'm grateful to the police department of the government of Egypt helping the tourists so much. And then we came back to Lebanon, and Lebanon back to Jordan, and Jordan back to Israel. There were places in Israel we had not seen. So we went to the south, a place called Ein Gedi. It's a waterfall, you know, few waterfalls, and there is a nice place, you know, natural place. But in the back of my head, I wanted to say Masada. Masada is a place in Israel. It's a very important historical part of Israel. And I was about to give up because I said we can't find it. But as we were going towards the Ein Gedi, from Arad in the south, I saw Masada. I said, good, let's go. We go to Masada. I wish I had the video to show you. And this beautiful lady, Israeli, guard, I suppose. She decided to, she saw that, you know, we are not with a guide or anything. She decided to coach us and tell us about this place, things that I didn't know before. Masada is a mountain that on the top's kind of flat. That's few places that like that I've seen in India, like Panchgani, newer high schools and such places. So there we found out that King Herod, who actually was the king at the time of Jesus Christ and responsible for killing of John the Baptist, he has built some palaces there. And at this point there are Jews living on this place in Masada, and Roman decided to capture them. This is about, I think, 100 years after Christ is gone, 130 or some years. And as this mountain is all the way around, is almost impassable, very difficult to climb, so the Roman, they built a ramp on one side and came on the top, and finally the Jews, they did not want to be capitulated, so they decided to suicide. Something about 960 of them, they were there. Systematically they decided they do not want to become a slave to the Roman Empire, which they would treat them really awful, and they decided death is better. And that is a very significant and sad part of the Israelis' Jewish history, which you have to go one day if you have a chance extensively to explain to you. They'll explain to you what this place looks like. I was really struck with this. What happened, the guard asked me, she said that when Jewish officers, the army, they are receiving their badges, you know, recruiting them in the command, they will come down here and they swear and bear allegiance that Masada will never ever happen again. This is their, you know, oath. And she asked me, what do you think? What would you do if you were here? I said, it's very hard to say, but if it was me, I would have fought to the end. But because there were children involved and I knew they would kick them, probably I would have gone with the same decision as they did. It's very strange, you know. But for the sake of innocent kids, death would be a thought simple and fast than slavery for the rest of your life. And she also asked that, do you think Masada will happen again? This suddenly created a sense into me that before I answer her, I thought I had been in Lebanon, Islamic country, on the north. I've been in the east, in Jordan. I've talked to a lot of people regarding this issue, and in Egypt. And I told her, yes, Masada can happen again. And in order to prevent it, one has to know, why did it happen first time? What was the reason? Well, I found in Israel there are many different factions of Jews, especially religious groups, very resilient. And they seemingly may not have conflict with each other, but when you go deep inside, there's a lot of differences, a lot of I cannot say animosity, but serious disagreement between them. So it's a miracle how out of these factions, after 3,000 years, after actually 2,000 years of disbursement, all around the world, they could actually got and formulate a country by this difference of opinions. It's a miracle. And why did it even survive and actually became a country? If you have so many different people with so many opinions that they do not want to get along, you have to create a common enemy for them. Israelis did not create and invented this, but Muslims decided that Israelis should not have any land to be given to them, and decided to eliminate them. And 1967 war. And this has united Israelis together, and so many years passed now, what 70 years? 60 years after the Second World War. So about 60 years, some odd years passed. Now these people have grown up, and they don't need this opposition from outside to be united. They are the nation right now. But why did Masada, or the suicide of the Jewish people, their final, point there happened? The answer lies in the one Jewish man, by the history, but a serious manifestation of God. His name is Jesus Christ. Jews did not accept him. You know all the stories. They preferred Barabbas over him. The Barabbas to live, but Jesus Christ to die. This choice brought Masada, not because of a divine intervention, it's simply because it was a mistake. Jesus did conquer the entire Europe, the Roman Empire, with his ideology, as a result of which people understood Torah, Old Testament, something Jews could not do in 1500 years. But Jesus did. But Jews did not recognize him. This is the problem. In the spiritual realm, everywhere in the world that I know, everywhere in the world, mankind, they have a problem with the eyesight. When something is too close, they can't see it. When it goes far away, they see it. This is why the prophets, when they come in their own homeland, especially in their own family, they always get denied. Always. But people from outside, they accept it. Buddha did not develop as much in India, but Chinese and the Asians, they all accepted him. Jesus was not accepted in Jewish land, but all the Europeans accepted him. Even Islam, the true version of Islam, was not accepted by Arabs. Iranians accepted it. It's just the way it is. And Jews suffered from the same fate by not understanding the manifestation of God coming from their own. Because not accepting the Jesus Christ, there's no curse involved. It's simply, this is a serious mistake. Whoever makes such a mistakes, he is bound to die, because then he doesn't know how to take care of himself. This is the reason why Masada happened. And after so many years, right now, 2,000 years passed, still there are a staunch Jews, religious group, that they do not still believe Jesus Christ was the manifestation of God. God has given them time, twice. They accepted Christ, they saw the consequence, They didn't accept Muhammad, which they were in Arabia to teach Judaism, religion of God. But those guys decided to turn into a business of making idols and all kind of things. And they didn't want Muhammad to ruin their business of idol worshippers. And Muhammad told them, no, you are here for a different mission. But you have lost your mission and now you're a businessman. And you're interfering and you do not want to teach these people. So God decided Muhammad to come a fresh start, which all of these religions are versions of each other, if you want to know. Christianity is a version of Judaism. Islam is a version of Christianity and Judaism. It is like the grade 1, 2, and 3. 2 has all the 1 in it, but there are some extras. 3 has all the 1 and 2 and extras. Islam has those in it plus some extras. Now, the third time Baha'I faith has landed in Israel. Okay? As promised by Jesus Christ, a new Jerusalem has been descended down from the heaven. That's not Jerusalem. Jerusalem is a past capital city. It's from the bygones. The new Jerusalem is in Haifa. It's in Akka, where the body of the Jehovah is buried there. The manifestation of God is there. Baha'u'llah is there. Bob is there. Jews do not know about it. And because they're so close, for some reason, universal laws of justice does not want the Baha'i faith to be taught in Israel. So in that way, although they're so close to it, they do not get the chance that we have in Canada and America. When you're so close, you have to investigate it yourself. So I am sure you're not going to accept it. I didn't want to put this video. I thought it's political, but in my opinion, politics is behind a closed door. Truth is out, open in the front, and I'm trying to tell you the truth. This is a gift of God. I'm gonna take it. If not, I tell you what the consequences are. What is the new Masada for you guys? So you're not going to accept what I say. None of you are becoming Baha'is, or you're actually going to universal laws of justice, sitting down there, consult with them, and find out a way out of this shenanigan that you have with the Muslims. So as I said, it was an expedition. It was investigation about what's happening. I found out Muslims on the other side, the surrounding Israel, in the south Egyptian, in the north Lebanese, and in the east Jerusalem. They are hurt. Their pride is being overwhelmed. This is the main thing. It's like a football game. My team is losing. That's what it is. It's always the case. When somebody is more powerful in a battle, the weak one will lose. And the weak one always cries, oh, we're not wrong. This is what happened to us. La, 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 la. But actually, when a fight happens like this, it is impossible for both parties not to have mistakes. When a fight battles like that, when there are mistakes on both sides. But my dear Jewish friends, which I love your country and I've seen it, let's say if you would have accepted Baha'i faith or acquainted with it or were informed about it, you knew what is this all about. Now declaring your faith is something else. You would see that there are 3 things to do. I've talked about this before, but you have to do 3 things. First of all, you should not retaliate any longer. Any rocket attack, homemade rocket attack, thrown at you, even if it kills you, Because retaliation has created more of the same. You started from Yasser Arafat, now you came into bin Laden, and now it's ISIS. God knows who is next. This is the reason of retaliation. If you do not retaliate, which is the lesson of Jesus Christ 2,000 years ago, if you do not retaliate, this game will stop. They hit you, take the other chick, tell them to do it again. We will defend ourselves, but we're not going to retaliate. Simply go to the television and show the damages that happened to you, people that are killed, and ask the Palestinians, your people, you're Muslim, do you really want to kill ordinary people? And why is that? Where in Islam such a thing is allowed? We know this is an act of crime and the criminals have to be brought to justice, but we are not going to indiscriminately attack you and bomb you and come and do things to you as it's happened before by Mr. Sharon and lately by Mr. Netanyahu. This thing is not going to help Israel and the Jewish cause. It is just going to create more and more and more of the enemies. Any action, there's a reaction, goes on. You throw the ball, they throw it back at you, and goes on and on. And if you don't do it a few times, this sense of anger and the pride and everything they have, it will go down. Then they start to think that, okay, we took our revenge and beat you back, but you did not do anything. You gotta do this. One. Number two. I put in my GPS and I said Bethlehem. The GPS took us to the road and we reached right to this intersection where we had to turn. And it would go to Palestine territory. And it was written, if you're a Jewish resident, by entering this place, your life is at danger. It's 2 o'clock in the night, or 12 o'clock in the night. We have no other place to go. I said, no, we will go. I cannot believe the people on the back here called Palestinians are any different from any other places that we have been. We went in. Remember, our car is Israeli licensed. Lisa looks totally Jewish. I look even Jewish. So we have all the recipe to be attacked by the Palestinians. Lo and behold, nothing happened. I stopped at a grocery store. I said, I need Bethlehem Hotel. The guy came and talked. He said, no, someplace. And we went. And we found a cabbie. I told the cabbie Bethlehem Hotel. He said, I couldn't understand well. So he said, just like with his hand, follow me. We followed him and he took us to Bethlehem Hotel. We went there, parked the car in a closed basement so nobody could touch it. We went upstairs, everything was good except for the breakfast in the morning. That was very poor. Otherwise there was no problem. It's all made up, make-believe. I'm not saying not some of the Palestinians are not trying to kill the Jews. I know the Jews, they like to kill Palestinians too. But it's only a small fraction. You gotta understand, this problem is like food. Big bowl of soup. If you have 1 spoon of a spice in it, spice it out, it's good. You put the second spoon, the whole food is gone. These are very minute, minor, small, I don't know, hundreds or thousands, that they make the whole society look bad. Both in the case of Israelis and Palestinians. The rest of Palestinians are not like this at all. So the next morning we went to Bethlehem. We saw this fellow, his name was Isa, which means Jesus. He explained a whole lot of things to us. I have it in the video. He has absolutely no qualm with the Jews. He thinks we're all from all kind of people. We have to respect each other. And it was just a tourist guide. And he's a Muslim, but he's showing us the Christian's place, like Bethlehem. You know, very spiritual place. The birth of Jesus in the basement, in that grotto, you could see it. So, again I talked to them and I saw the poverty. And I said to myself, God, if I was the Prime Minister of Israel, I'm too old to accept a job or citizenship, but if I were to be the Prime Minister, if I were to be a Jewish man, what would I do here? I thought I would not let the Palestinian to depend on the outside money. Money from Iran, money from Saudi Arabia. I would not let that happen. I would go and finance them myself. I would open up a bank right in the Palestine territory. I appreciate, as an enemy of Israel, as Israelis they like to see, still there was no border. There was a road, you could simply go there. You know, the tolerance of Israelis is not matched by the Muslims. Israelis have 2 million Muslims in them, within them, and not that many Jews, believe me, are in Jordan or Lebanon or Israel. So it shows they have more tolerance. But good is not enough. It just has to be perfect. Okay, this is the mission of Israel. They have lived 3,500 years. This resilience have kept them there. Any other nation would be melted away, gone down, not them. So they have to do more than this. I would not let the Palestinians, if I were a Jewish power, I would not let them to borrow money from anyone else. I would send my intelligence service to find out how many of these people are actually friends with us. I would reward them. I would give them money. I would give them micro financing. Let them start to show up. I end this animosity with kindness, with understanding. One way, I do not retaliate, so I put their anger down. Secondly, I respond to their needs. I finance them. I go further. I would put a Jewish fund from all over the world to come and help. Let the Palestinians to go to school, go to university. To the good ones, I reward them. I give them an Israeli passport. I would let them to come in Israel and go. I would cut their ties to the outside by empowering them. This is the second thing I would do. Gosh, is there anything else that I could do? Yes. Actually, the problem is poverty, physical poverty, but also mental poverty. All the religions are corrupted, including Jewish. And the corruption comes from the foolish leaders, these ecclesiastics. They teach their own brand and version of the truth. Therefore, they divide people in many, as Jews done, as Muslims have done. Muslims, they are teaching wrong Islamic version to the Palestinians, to the Muslims. Israel has to take charge by teaching the Muslims the real Islam. It's a fantastic religion. It's not the enemy of the Jews. It says, Ya ayyuhallazina amanu wallazina hadu was-sabi'in wal-nasari was-sabi'in man amana billah wal-yawm al-akhir falahum ajrahum. Those who have believed, those who are Jew, those who are Christian, those who are Sabian, whoever believes in God and day of resurrection, God will recompense them. Islam is a very democratic religion, does not ask Jews to become Muslims or Christians to become Muslim or even Sabians. Its core of Islam is two things: to believe in God and day of resurrection. That's it. If you are, to Islam is fine. You are not a kafir, you are not an infidel. And there are so many other references. does not allow a Muslim to hate Jews for being Jew. This is the propaganda of ignorance, conspiracy of oblivion. Israel is to confront it, have it right on the TV. Let the Muslim and Jews and Christians and Baha'is, they get together to talk about the subject. Let people understand where are they coming from. You made so many movies, I've seen it, but I've never seen a movie of Mr. Husseini from Albania, who God knows, I don't know, God knows how many of poor Jews by his hand went into the gas chamber at a time when there was no Israel at all. This is in the German Nazi regimes where Israelis were burned. And who was helping them? A Muslim clergy, Mr. Hosseini. Is this fair? Do Muslims know about this? No, they don't. So go on and make the history. But the truth was, Israelis, they did not start this battle with the Muslims at all. They didn't. Muslims started this battle way before, during the Second World War, by reporting the Jews to the Hitler to kill them. Why? And the name of which verse in Quran you did that? Under the name of which tradition you have done that? This is absolutely the sign of infidelity in Islam. Mr. Hosseini's place is definitely in hell. I tell you that right now. This fellow escaped Nuremberg, the international court, then go to, I think, Egypt, and found his way to come to Palestine and start PLO. Honestly, this man should be celebrated for letting poor Jews. Jew to me is just a title, human being. To go in the hand of Hitler? Aren't Muslims should be ashamed of this? So, these are the three things. Stop retaliation. Help Palestinians. Look at them as they are yours. And don't say that, oh, we tolerated 1 day or 2 days. If you have to tolerate 1,000,000 years, tolerate it. Do not retaliate. Because this is the right path. Doesn't matter when the result comes. And do not say, I helped the Jews and I helped the Palestinian and he said to me, I want to get rid of all the Jews. Let them say, you just do the right things. When people get a job, when people get educated, they have family, children, why should they come and attack you? Don't need that. Stop this rhetoric. If I was, my criticism to Mr. Netanyahu is that when Donald Trump said that Jerusalem is the capital of Israel, if I were him, I would have said that this is the opinion of Mr. Trump, and I don't know why he says that, but neither this can be done, or if it has to be done, I have 2 million Israeli Muslim in my country. I would consult with everybody to see what is the best decision to reach. Until such time, we do not need this kind of a talk, because we're not going to do it. Why do you talk about something that you want to do before you build the goddamn building and call it embassy? Why do you talk before that? Because what? You want to provoke people? You want to create problem? What is happening? It's because you are still into Jerusalem. Jerusalem is gone. It was the capital of the olden days. Now the new capital of God is Haifa, is Akka. And your Savior is in your land. Go study it. Understand it. This is what you have to do. I don't need to talk to you like this. I don't get money to do this. I have no agenda to say this. I'm not saying this to be against Palestinians or against Jews. To me, these are all titles you made for yourself. Just like the clothes you're wearing. One is black, one is red. Underneath of it, all I see is nothing but humanity. And I've seen great Jews and bad Jews, and great Muslim and bad Muslims. Bad in a sense that they do the bad things, or they're selfish. You know. So I said these things today not as policies or politics, but as a human being that I am from Canada. I traveled and I found out this is what has to happen. Now I have advice for the Muslims as well. You know, they have to do a lot more. To one of them in Petra, when I sat down and talked, we were in Petra. All of a sudden, this beautiful policeman with his beautiful uniform, he just crumbled down from the horse, down, barely got himself to the bench, and he was completely dying. I rushed towards him. What is happening? He couldn't speak, of course, English. My guide was there. He said that, I don't know, it's a heart attack, something. I said, my God, he's dying. I had some Tylenol 3 with me for myself, and one of those gluconax, whatever it is, painkillers. So that's all I have, you know, maybe give it to him, let him this pain go. And then he said, yeah, he fell off from the horse, and the horse banged his back, 5, 6 bones on his back is being like crushed. How does this guy even walk? I told him that I don't have the money to help you, but I swear to God, if you write a letter to any police department in Canada and tell them this is your story, your country doesn't have money to fix you, and you're only 25, 26, Canadian police immediately will come and help you. They'll do, in the spirit of the international brotherhood of humanity. But I said to myself, I wish I was that Jew and the power. I could just take him right to the neighboring Israel and say, fix this guy. Look for this opportunity to do good things, if you can. I said, somebody said, yeah, Petra and this and that is here, but we are very poor, don't have water. The general of the king gets only $2,000 a month. I said, God, this is harsh. Police officers get a couple $100. How do you live? I told them, there is a solution. But if I tell you, I'm going to go right up to the ceiling. He said, yeah, it is. I said, yeah. What is that? I said, you need investors to come here and invest money, to build hotels, to do all kind of things they can do, bring the whole people here. And who they are? I said, Israelis right behind. He was like nodding his head. Do you know what you're saying? I said, I exactly know what I'm saying. But you're from here. I'm from Canada. I see fantastic Jews every day in Canada. Great human being. Do you have ever gone to your head to find out Jews have helped humanity in any shape or form? He had no answer. I said, then the public relation is not very good. Israel is not going properly to explain themselves. What have they done? How many Muslims have been helped by them? Thousands. A friend of mine in Toronto, in Iran, his back was broken. He was taken from Iran to Germany. He said the doctor was Jew, back specialist, and it fixed him like brand new. He said, from that day I don't hate Jews. But there are thousands of events like that. Why don't we bring it up? From both sides. From Muslim helping Jews, and from Jews helping Muslims. Now and in the past. Do Muslims know the first Pope of the Christianity, St. Augustine, was a Jew? Do Muslims know Georges ibn Bakhtishu was a Jewish man who was the head of the Jundi Shapur hospital in Iran 1400 years ago, and he translated all these books from Greek into Arabic. Do you know that? In Beit al-Hikmah in Baghdad, with the order of Khalifa Ma'mun, translator was a Jew. There are so many things like this. The entire Sufism in Iran and tradition is full of references about Judaism, about Moses, about so many Jews that they did great things and they, turned into Islam or whatever. There are too much negativity. There is one last idea, is that some people, they look at the whole affair as being an enterprise of making money. Jewish politicians, they might think that we need this opposition. If we don't have the opposition, we will not be able to unite the Jewish people under one flag. If the opposition stops, Israel becomes 4 different countries. There are some segment of it just totally repudiating the other people who do not respect Shabbat, Sabbath, or other things. But they don't. They would not tolerate gays or lesbians. They would kill them into pieces. I've seen them in Tiberia. Those Jewish people are serious. But when I talk to them, they're again good people. Make believe, a collective. Because the collective comes, put the pieces together when a collective has got wrong ideology. This is Machiavellism. To say that for the unity of Jewish people we have to have enemies. Those days are gone, 60 years past. Israel is one nation now. Now there's the time to friendship. And invest. Turn completely the enemy into the friend. And one day, in the military services of the Jewish people, if Palestinian, they worked there as a police officer, as a soldier, that day you won the battle of the Zionism. Until then, everything seems to me temporary. God be with you. I don't need to speak anymore. That was just my opinion. Thank you.